Cyprus football, the passion, the thrill. The passion, the thrill. The stadiums roar, you can feel the chill. You can feel the chill. The teams are ready, the battles will start. The battles will start with dreams of glory, they'll play with heart.
Kalimera, Kalispera, whatever time you're watching, this is Mappa. Stel's here. Thasso isn't, unfortunately. Thasso is in a forest. He's sitting by a tree singing Kumbaya. He's left me on my ones tonight, but that's fine. It's absolutely fine because I've got you guys here. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram and X at This Is Mappa. We also have a Patreon. Exclusive content is in the description. Check it out. Anyway, where do we begin? There's a lot. There's a lot to go through, man. And to be honest, I'm going to try smash it as quick as possible. Oops, I didn't mean it in that way. Sorry. Anyway, yalla, let's go. So the first story. AEK beats Partizan Belgrade last week by a 1-0 in their Europa League qualifier first leg, and the goal scorer, none other than Enzo Cabrera, with a lovely header from a corner. And this game was quite entertaining. It was actually very, very one-sided. I'm not going to lie. AEK should have probably had 3 goals in the opening 20 minutes, but it was a dominant display. Obviously, they're not going to be happy with going to Belgrade with just a 1-goal head start. But listen, a win is a win. And if they can hold on and not do anything stupid, they'll be fine. Unfortunately, Cabrera's out with an injury. He didn't fly with the squad. So Aglieski is going to be up front. Again, we don't know how it's going to go. But the way I see it is, you know, they've got a great chance. That Rubio looked really good. Looked really, really good. Tricky, quick, likes to beat a man, puts the ball in first time. So Perhaps he's the natural successor to Imad Faraj. One comment already. Oh, hello from Malta. What's going on, bro? Anthobal. My goodness, how are you enjoying Malta, man? I've seen some of your tweets or your X's. Your tweets. I haven't seen any of your X's, I promise. But your tweets have been fantastic, especially with the updates. Congratulations, my guy. I see you're settling very, very well. All right. Let's go with the next story. And it is related to AEK. And it looks like they could be making a move for a goalkeeper that was at Bayern Munich and Bristol City, who's currently at Hajduk Split. His name is Ivan Lucic. Now, obviously, they want a goalkeeper, AEK, to challenge Alomerovic. And it looks like Lucic is on his way out because Hajduk Split have signed Ivusic from Buffon. And that is a lovely segue to my next bit. And it's about Buffon. There you go. As I mentioned, Ivusic has completed his move to Hajduk Split for a fee of around 700 grand. They signed him for 2 million, but hey, it's not a bad loss when you take into consideration they won the league last season and the cup the year before. So yeah, not bad. Anyway, Buffon announced a signing in Congolese striker Mons Basuamina. He signed on a two-year deal. And the 27-year-old joins from Clermont Foot. Now, apparently, high on Buffon's wanted list to replace Ivusic is his compatriot Ivo Grbić of Sheffield United. Now, Grbić had a 4-year spell at Atletico Madrid, but he spent a year on loan at Lille. So watch this space, boys and girls, because Buffon clearly need a goalkeeper. And yeah, Grbić might be the guy. Staying with Buffon. Bit more news. They signed 18-year-old midfielder Marcelo Alves de Souza Filho from Ferroviaria, not Diarria as in diarrhea, but they signed this lad on loan. He goes into the under-19s. And apparently joining Buffon soon is Nigerian international defender Chidozie Awaziem. He's actually at Colorado Rapids at the moment. And he had spells at Porto, Boavista, and Leganes. He's actually a Nigerian international defender. So yeah, let's see if this one's going to get over the line. Now, I'm going to move on to a pretty weird one. Yesterday, Supersport FM reported that David Luiz is a target for Buffon. I don't need to tell you much about David Luiz in terms of his credentials. He's 38 years old. Can he do a job at Buffer? I don't see why not, really and truly. If he's fit enough, he'll do well. But then again, this evening, another name was thrown into the equation. And apparently they're willing to pay Cruzeiro up to 150,000 euros to take defender Pedrao on loan. 20 years old, the central defender. So, yeah, Buffalo are moving mad at the moment. I mean, last week, we were saying what's going on with their transfers. Now, it looks like they could be bringing in a few more players. And Goldar apparently is going to sign a new contract as well. We did say that when Buffalo win the league, it's going to be peak for everyone, isn't it? Because they're just going to go nuts. Well, they've been very, very quiet. And they've got a Champions League qualifier in, 8 days? Looks like they're moving mad at the moment. Moving absolutely mad. Speaking of another club that, well, actually, no, I'm going to stay with Buffalo, actually, before I move on. Buffalo played 3 friendlies recently. They beat Leyton Orient by a 0-0. Then they drew 1-1 against, Orlando Pirates. Was it Orlando Pirates? Yeah. And then they beat Valladolid 3-2. So not a bad end to their pre-season. I don't know if they've got another game, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check it out. But, yeah. Their little trip to Spain has been all right. They drew 2-2 against AFC Wimbledon. They've played 4 competitive games so far, so I'm pretty certain they're going to be ready for their Champions League qualifier next week. Now, moving on to another club that really should be moving mad this summer, but they're not. Don't know why. Excuse me, I don't know why, but Ari, they sold Leo Bengtsson. He's moved to Lech Poznan for a fee of around 800,000 euros. As you guys are probably aware, Bengtsson played the pivotal role in Ari's title victory a couple of years ago. Scored some goals in Europe. Was part of that famous team that beat Glasgow Rangers and got a good draw away from home. And good luck to him. Now, staying with Ari. Well, today they announced the signing of Yassine Borhan. They announced it this afternoon. In fact, we got wind of it yesterday evening and we spoke about it on last night's transfer show on Patreon. And the Comoros international midfielder has signed on a free after leaving Danish side Esbjerg. So, yeah, that one straight out of nowhere, basically. And another one out of nowhere today, Gerkida reported that Andronigos Gagouli is a target for Ari. But we have heard that not only is Gagu stalling a little bit, but the reason why he's stalling a little bit is because there's a chance, boys and girls, all 6 of you watching, that Omonia are going to go in for him. You heard it here first. Just saying while I take a sip of my coffee. There you go. So, yeah, Gagu might be coming back to Omonia, but Ari are very, very keen on the player. Now, 2 more potential exits. And that's Kazu and Matisik. Kazu is linked with CSKA Sofia, while Matisik is being looked at by Lechia Gdansk. And do you know who Lechia Gdansk head coach is? John Carver. Can't tell you how I know. I just know. Right. The next one. And we'll move over to Omonia. Not much is happening with Omonia. Surprise, surprise. Whatever. Earlier on, or should I say the back end of last week, Omonia announced a new chief scouts, Tor Christian Carlson, also known as TKK. He's the new adult in the room, guys. He's a man that boasts a big CV, having worked at Monaco, St. Petersburg, Maccabi Haifa, Hanover, Start, Grasshopper Zurich, and Watford. Now, Mr. KK, TKK, I'm not going to call him KK actually because someone might throw in an extra K and then we're fucked. He has also been working for ESPN as a journalist. And if you don't know, or if you're not familiar with his writing, he's actually been looking at up-and-coming youngsters. So welcome to Omonia. Welcome to the circus. Now, the next story is related to a former Omonia player, and that's my mate, Thiago Santos. He's hung up his boots, aged 37. Now, I've known Thiago for a few years now. He actually did a podcast with us on No Choftes a couple of years back. Really nice guy. Very helpful, friendly. He's a family guy. And he's done the rounds in Cyprus. He played for Salamina twice. He played for Olympiacos, Omonia, Krasava, AEK, and Spartakos Gidiou. So, yeah, he released a very long statement thanking everyone, especially his family. And it's sad because it's an end of an era, isn't it? For anyone wanting a fan watching, that's another retired player that won the league in 21. Okay, Botiak hasn't really retired, but, you know, he's playing lower league football. Jordi Gomez is gone. He's retired. Vitor Gomez, obviously Thiago. Shehu, that's 5. Who else? Lufna. Hubachan, that's 7. How many more? I'm sure I've missed out a few more. So they're all dropping like flies. Not literally, but you get what I'm saying. But sad times. But congratulations on your career, bro. Anyway, moving over to the rival. Moving over. APOEL. Loads of news involving APOEL. 3 players linked with the club. First of all, it looks like Dalcio could be heading back to the club. Various reports claim that he's only a breath away of re-signing with the club, who he won the league title with. He's deemed as surplus requirements at Red Star Belgrade. And it looks like he's coming back to Cyprus with APOEL. The next player on the list is Franz Borson. Those of you who don't remember Franz Borson, he won the league title with Ari. And he could be joining APOEL. He's without a club following his departure from Greek side Atromidos. Now, the third player linked with APOEL is Cyrus Christie, ex-Swansea City, played for quite a few clubs in the UK. He's an Ireland international. And my source told me yesterday morning that he's been proposed to APOEL and they're considering making an offer. So there you go. Again, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. Now, another name with APOEL, and that's El Arabi. Looks like he's out the door. Hasn't been paid for a bit. They haven't sorted out his finances. And L'Equipe reported that he's joining Nantes in France. Happy days for him, I guess. And Gatirjiz, the star boy. Unfortunately, he's going to be out between 7 and 8 months. He did his ACL in training. And yeah, to be honest, I've had high hopes for the lad. Thasso especially. Low center of gravity, very technically gifted. Didn't see much of him last season when he was on loan at Aradipu, but I was hoping that we'd see more of him this year, but he's going to be missing for quite a while. So probably back in training December, I'm guessing. August, September, October, November, December. Yeah, I think December, January, we'll see him back in training. But hey, anyway, here comes the fun part. Now, let's get the let's get the Malagueas out the way. Top right hand corner, you'll see an image, and it's APOEL social media team. They went full Hollywood this week, making a big song and dance about season ticket sales. Now, it turns out that the cryptic "This is just the beginning" slogan is a fancy way of saying "Give us your money again." But there's a twist, guys. Before you can even buy a season ticket, you've got to fork out 20 euros for an APOEL fan ID card. Yeah, and that 20 euros, it's not for admin or to, I don't know, print your name on a lanyard or anything remotely useful. It's actually going towards paying off the club's debt to the Somatia. Yeah, you know, the part of the club that pretends to be separate, but is actually still much in the same dysfunctional family. Yeah, and here's the fun part. The debt is rumored to be in the 7-figure range. So even if they somehow convince 10,000 people to chip in, they're still only clearing about, what, a fifth of it? Yeah, genius. Genius, absolute genius. Now, obviously, there are some fans in the comments section playing the support the badge no matter what card, but the overwhelming vibe, and I'm going to use that term because it is overwhelming. If you look at Instagram and Twitter, you're practically getting a get the fuck out of here response. Like, you know, Bedridis is still calling the shots. Fans ain't going to be happy. So you just need to look at some of the replies. They'd make you a faint. Honestly, they really would. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stay on to APOEL because I want to cast your minds back to last month. wrong gatirciz. Whatever. It is what it is. I don't care anymore, man. I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care. I always get them mixed up. Is it Banayodi? Which one is it? But if that's all, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. Anyway, casting my back to June 2025, and former EU Commissioner Androula Vasiliou sparked somewhat of a social media firestorm after calling APOEL's long-abandoned clubhouse an eyesore and asked, when are you going to knock it down? Now, the word backlash, I'm using that term loosely because that's what she received from the APOEL fans. It was immediate. It was intense. There was like angry posts all over social media. And even like the ex-club presidents and politicians were going crazy on the internet. Anyway, Vasiliou basically said, her comment was just about aesthetics. And APOEL supporters, especially Bansifi, issued a fiery 900-word statement defending the building, accusing Vasiliou of hypocrisy, and they actually referenced her past spending while in public office and suggested that she focus on her husband, or at the very least, Mr. Lilika. Now, I'm not going to go into the political side of things. Her husband died, as far as I'm aware. And Lilika, I don't think they've actually worked together. I know they were part of the EU Commission, but I don't think they actually worked together. So I'm not sure what this is about. As far as I'm aware, Lilika was part of APOEL, the left-wing political party. But again, I don't know how that's relevant to us. I don't know. Maybe someone that knows about politics can tell me about this, because I haven't gone deep into this. I don't really want to either. But it's just interesting why they would throw that in. I'm not saying that they suggested that they had an affair or they're having an affair. I'm not saying that. But I don't know. It just seems a little bit weird for me. Anyway, so move all the chaos aside. It actually emerged that renovation plans for the clubhouse were actually underway, although maybe, the controversy kind of pushed it a little bit further. I don't know. But the refurbishment is going to cost an estimated 250 to 300 grand, and it's being funded by fans and anonymous donors. There you go. There's that for APOEL. Happy days. Happy days. Now, speaking of season tickets, there is a social media account. I forget his bloody name. I forget his name. Sorry. Oops. I forget his name. But anyway, he's put up a chart with all the season ticket sales. And this is what we've got here, or the season ticket prices, shall I say. And it's quite interesting to see that AEK have the most expensive when it comes to the VIP ones. It's €1,000. I mean, it's crazy. What are you getting for €1,000? Anyone tell me? Prasinos Dikastis. Yeah, sorry. Thank you very much, Tasso. Thank you. So Tasso's got Wi-Fi in the forest. So if you look at some of those, Omonia, gold and green, obviously those are tiers. And you can't, you can get a season ticket without a privilege card, but obviously they want you to get a privilege card, and then you can get a discount on them. But yeah, APOEL's 465, Abolona 670, Ari 485. These are all VIPs, by the way. I mean, they're all there in front of you. I don't need to read them all out. It's quite interesting that with Omonia ones, you get all the league games and one cup game, whereas with AEK, you get all the league games and 2 cup games. But yeah, it's quite an interesting setup, I'm not going to lie. But out of all those clubs, which one of those would I buy a season ticket for this season? Out of all of those, I'll be honest with you, I'm not even going to say Buffer. I'm going to say APOEL. I'd be more interested in going to watch APOEL this season because they've made so many signings, so many different moves. And yeah, they're the one I've got an eye on, so to speak. There you go. Speaking of, I was going to say APOEL, I've got Anorthosis here. Fuck it, let's go with Anorthosis. Emberazi. Thasso's not here with me, so I'm all over the place. Right, so Anorthosis look like they're going to sign Ethnikos Mexican striker Ruben Hernandez. Now, he joined the squad for pre-season training at the weekend, which is quite interesting because I've never seen a player leave a club to go to another club on trial from the same league. But anyway, I guess this might be some kind of agreement that Hernandez has with Ethnigo and a certain former sporting director of Ethnigo that's now at Anorthosis, I guess. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. And other bit of information. Anorthosis kicked off their pre-season training this week, and you know what that means? Peak yiayia madness. Yeah, remember Fodini? I'm sure you remember her. She's the queen of the terraces, back again, full of energy, rallying the ultras like she's leading a revolution. And this year, they've only gone and upgraded her kit. They've given her a bastuni with a flare built into it. Lovely. There you go. Now, apparently, one of the new signings had absolutely no idea who she was and what was happening. But yeah, he said they see this old lady wandering onto the pitch and they're like, is she lost? I'm joking. But yeah, listen, this is a standard procedure for Anorthosis. And to be honest, they seem like a very, very galvanized unit at the moment. They seem like they're all singing from the same song sheet. Is it because the Spanish lad has left after having his car blown up? Is it because Brazzidi has got everyone singing from the same song sheet? Stella Marco is holding it down for the press. They've made some interesting signings. All right, once this embargo thing is rectified, they'll be signing more and more players. The head coach is very open to speaking to the press, to making appearances. He seems very progressive. As I mentioned, they've made some interesting signings. I'm not saying they're going to be top 6 this season, but if they show the same character and fight that they did the back end of last season, especially under Camoranesi, you never know. You just never know. Now, let's go to APOEL. Because they announced the signing of Sergio Conceição. Yep. Fucking top player he is, man. I wish he joined Omonia. I wish. But no. We'll stick with... Isn't it funny, right, that APOEL have signed Conceição that got 11 assists last season, and Omonia is still stuck with the uncle that made the 11 mistakes last season. It's great. It's poetic. Anyway, now, also at the club at the moment is former Sheffield Wednesday and Watford striker Fernando Forestieri. He's been on trial the last week or so, and they're going to decide whether he's good enough to stay at the club. And that'll be another very interesting signing, because obviously this guy bagged goals all over the UK, came from Italy, did well in Malaysia. Yeah, let's see. Interesting one. Now, let's go back to Conceição, shall we? Because there's been a little bit of drama involving Conceição, even though he's probably just sat there going, what have I done? I've done nothing wrong. There's been a war of words between the APOEL and APOEL press officer. And let me give you a little bit of an analogy. I'm sure this has happened to you guys when you were at school, how people gossip. You know, someone will say something to someone and then your name will be thrown in there, even though you've had nothing to do with it. And then someone will say to you, well, what did you say? What did you... I didn't say nothing. That will say, well, no. This is very, very similar. And it involves the two press officers at APOEL and APOEL. Let me give you some context. The other day, APOEL Limassol's press officer, Fanurios Constantino, got on the radio and confidently declared that APOEL is too big of a club to be part of a bidding war. No player is bigger than the club. We rejected Conceição. Okay, cool. No problem. That was his opinion. That was the club's viewpoint. Enter Levendis. He went on Supersport 104 show and he said what he had to say. And this is what he said. He said, let me give you the real story. We spoke with Conceição a week ago, made him an offer. He asked for a deadline, July the 15th, and he stuck to it. Simple. Talk of haggling or crazy demands, complete nonsense. And just to respond to my friend Fanurio, who mentioned dignity demands and rejected players, dignity also means telling the truth. Neither Conceição nor Zoke were rejected. They just picked us. Players aren't objects. They assess things. The vision, the board, the environment, they go where they feel they belong. Take Andres Caro. We met him, showed him the plan, gave him everything. He took some time, then he chose to sign for someone else in Romania. Did we run to the media shouting, we don't beg anyone? No, That's not how we do things. You don't cover your own mistakes by slating others. Just be honest. Now, Costandino piped up, didn't he? And he wasn't going to let this one go. He went on the same show, like afterwards, and he responded in the way all grown-ups do, by not responding, but also definitely responding. He goes, I won't get into it out of respect for our club and for APOEL and their fans. If Mr. Levendis wants to stir things up, that's his choice. I haven't done that for 14 years. We've never needed to drag other clubs down to lift ourselves up. Now, what could happen afterwards? Well, given the nature of the rivalry, and for those who know how bad this rivalry is, you'll know why Levendi did the smartest thing and came out with a statement of his own. This is literally one of those all views are my own kind of statements. And he goes, just to be crystal clear, at no point did I or anyone at APOEL disrespect Apollon's glorious history or their lovely fans. Not once. Now, hang about. Let me stop this right here. I haven't read this actually in full, right? Is that a little dig? Is that a little dig? Apollon's glorious history or their lovely fans? Anyway, I'm not going to stir the pot here. He said, not once, not even a cheeky dig. Go ahead, read the transcript, line by line. If you find anything remotely insulting, I'll buy you a pint. That's not necessarily what he said, but it was there or thereabouts. Now, apparently, all Levendis wants to do was set the record straight because Apollon's PR department made a bit of noise about Conceição, blah, blah, blah. You know this, right? He said, now, let's not turn this into some dramatic Netflix series. I know he didn't say these things. I just reworded it. I've reworded it in a way that makes sense in my head and makes it more entertaining. So he said, let's not turn this into some dramatic Netflix series, yeah? Players make choices. Sometimes they pick us. Sometimes they don't. Doesn't mean we need to throw shade or start talking about dignity or bidding wars like it's some kind of medieval auction. He then gave an example of APOEL losing out on a player and shock horror and not throwing a tantrum about the press. Now, did we come out whining about how the player rejected us? No. Did we accuse him of having outrageous demands or lacking class? Also, no. We just got on with it, like grown-ups. And then basically he said, at the end of the day, the truth's the truth. You don't have to be scared of it unless, of course, you're allergic to honesty. So how about we all focus on the actual football, not the petty side drama? Followed by every classic closer from every Cypriot football press officer trying to sound like Gandhi, always with respect. There you go. It's been a long one. There you go. Hello, Pedro. We missed that Limassolian civil rivalry. Gulli, I'm telling you what, man. I'm so excited about this season. Yeah? I'm so excited because forget the fact that obviously Buffalo are signing players now. It's being more and more exciting. Obviously, there's the drama, APOEL. You know, okay, forget the fact that I support a rival club. Just the drama with the Brazilians, with the non-payments, with the fucking clubhouse, the Mickey Mouse clubhouse. Adi's situation, we don't know what's going to happen with them. Omonia, fucking knows what's going on with Omonia. You got the newly promoted sides that are making signings now. But the biggest thing that excites me the most is this Limassol rivalry with APOEL and Apollon. Because there's no love lost between them. Yeah? How many games have been cancelled between the two in the last 3 years? 4? Cadezzi? 4. I can think of 3 off the top of my head. There's got to be another one. They hate each other. Like, the hatred is mad. And the fact that both teams are now bringing in quality players to improve. Both teams have, okay, well, APOEL have got a different financial situation now. And their owners are fucking minted, right? But it's a completely new strategy. It's a completely new thought process at the club. This is going to be mad. This is going to be absolutely mad. There is no hype. There is nothing. About what? The Barathima. You're talking about Omonia. Bro, what can I tell you? It is what it is. This is what they do. Yeah? This is what they do. They're silent I'm just going to go off on one now. They're silent because the longer they stay silent, yeah, the less people going to talk. And yeah, I've seen people arguing on our Discord and on Facebook or whatever. Fact remains, yeah, if they don't win the league, if Omonia don't win the league this season, it's another failed season as far as I'm concerned. But I'm not going to go into that right now. Both? What are you talking about? Trust me, the Brathima is going to be exciting this season. I'm telling you. Anyway, let's stay on APOEL because they're about to sign a fullback, Marcus Coco, formerly of Nantes. He can play on either wing and at fullback. And apparently, he's going to be on a big wage as well. And it seems that the APOEL hierarchy are very, very hot on this player. So yeah, there you go. Right, next story. Agrida have made 2 signings in the space of 3 days. Interesting, isn't it? How Agrida can get deals done over the line, and my team are just sitting there with their thumbs up their asses. Anyway, just like London buses, you wait for 1 and 2 come along at the same time. So in Agrida's case, our mate Adil Nabi has joined, which I'm very, very excited about because Adil was a top bloke, came on the podcast a few weeks ago, and obviously he and I have been in touch for a while now. He's been looking for a club. Now he's got one. Great. And Jose Romo. Yeah, you remember him? Ex-AEK, Anorthosis, APOEL, etc., etc. So they now have 10 men in the squad, I think. Anyway, next story. And you know this guy? Recognize him? Lautaro Cano. Yeah. Former APOEL and APOEL defender has joined Omonia Radepu. So basically, it might as well just be like last season where APOEL was sending players to Omonia Radepu. This time they've just given them this guy. So, yeah, happy days. He must love Cyprus. 3 different clubs. Lovely. Now, this one's going to be fun. Paralimni, or should I say Velez Paralimni? Because Paralimni seems to like signing players from Velez Mostar. They signed Emmanuel Okeke and Brazilian winger Lohan. No relation to Lindsay, by the way, unfortunately. They've also brought in Marco Gira, who signed on a free, and it looks like he'll be joined by his nephew. Yeah, top left-hand corner, Ivan Laka. His nephew is going to be joining the club. So not only does Kanadi have his son there, I don't know if his son's still there actually, but he signed him last season. He's signing players from Velez Mostar, and now he's signing 2 players that are actually related. Excellent, wonderful. And the final signing is Austrian midfielder Emmanuel Shakic. Shakic has been without a club since leaving Cesca Sofia in January. So yeah, Paralimni, more signings. I mean, I think they signed like 8 players up until now, I think. Right, next story, Krasava. Anyway, Krasava head coach Liasso Luga is absolutely buzzing. They've signed what, 5, 6, 7 players? Let's go with the recent ones. Isan Chebak and Quintilla have arrived from APOEL. De Lucas, formerly of Ireland Salamina, has signed. And it looks like Kingsley Sarfo is about to leave them from APOEL. That's another signing from APOEL. Like, what the bloody hell is going on? Also, let me get this guy's name. I didn't put him on my notes. What an idiot. Krasava have also signed the 21-year-old left-back called Julio Cesar da Silva de Paula from Coimbra Esporte Club Limited. Yeah, Limited. So, yeah, and that it looks like their new kit, that Macron kit, is yellow with 2 black... Yeah, 2 black lines. I don't know what's going on there, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Right. Have we got any more transfers? Oh my God, there's more. Fuck's sake. Oh, right. So, Olympiaco, double swoop for the newly promoted side. They signed Christos Evzona from Buffalo on loan and Panagiotis Angeli from Omonia. 2 players that can play centre-back and centre-mid. Interesting that Olympiaco are now going with Cypriot players. After the last few weeks, they've been signing every single fucking nationality, apart from Cypriot, but here we go. And also, they've officially announced the formation of a women's football team, which effectively is a historic milestone for the club. The team's going to participate in the 25-26 Cyprus Women's First Division, making their debut in the national competition. So well done, Olympiago. You've now taken the Cypriot Women's League team tally to 5. Excellent. But hey, it's progress, right? We're not going to dump on it. We want to see more women's football, especially in Cyprus. Yalla. Excellent. Happy days. Well done. Now, there's all of that. I've done it in 35 minutes. Told you I was going to smash it hard. Right. The next story has got to do with referees. Now, it's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. And Mario, if you're watching, this is for you. So, the CFA is participating in UEFA's campaign to attract new referees. Now, this campaign was created by UEFA to address the growing shortage of referees in almost all European countries. I wonder why. And to strengthen the profile of the referee as an important and trusted role in the sport. Now, their main objectives of the campaign are to inspire young men and women to become referees, to break down negative stereotypes about the role of referees, to support football federations in their efforts to recruit and train new referees, and to promote refereeing as an opportunity for personal development, physical activity, and inclusion in the sport from a different perspective. Basically, if you need to lose some weight, become a referee. Just run around. Just run around for 90 minutes. So, hands up, anyone here that would like to become a referee, especially in Cyprus. I will wait. Theoli! No. I know none of you want to do it, apart from Mario. Mario doesn't even know the offside rule. Mario isn't even watching. I can say these things. Fuck him. Right. Next story. And this is my favorite story of the week. Now, what is the one thing that Cypriot clubs don't do at all, let alone well? Accountability. Well, hats off to Derinya. And again, it's Derinya. Because, to their credit, they did something unheard of. They held their hands up and admitted they made a mistake. They're not blaming the postman. No conspiracy theories about rival clubs or UEFA vendettas. Just good old-fashioned accountability. Now, what about the fuck up? A classic admin blunder. They failed to submit the right documents on time and as a result, didn't pass UEFA's licensing criteria for the 25-26 season. Cue the punishment. 3 points docked and a temporary ban on signing or registering players over the age of 21. And then came the statement. It's what I'd like to call a masterclass in taking it on the chin. They said, we want to be fully transparent with our supporters. Our non-compliance is not due to outstanding debts or an inability to make payments, but rather a clerical error on our parts. Specifically, while all obligations towards our players were fulfilled, we failed to submit the required documentation on time as we were supposed to. We take full responsibility for this oversight, apologize to our fans, and assure you that we have already taken steps to resubmit the necessary paperwork for review in order to begin the new season without restrictions. Our club is above all an ethical and well-managed club, and we will not allow a bureaucratic error of our own to overshadow the hard work being carried out by everyone. Honestly, it brought a tear to my eye, man. Honestly, not because of the punishment, but because someone in Cyprus actually said, yeah, this is on us. Oh, and by the way, Bayer also failed the UEFA criteria audit and they got the same penalty, although I don't think Bayer are going to be releasing any statements, especially given their social media activity the last 12 months. If you know, you know. I'm just saying. And on a final note, guys, this one brings a tear to my eye as well, because former Omonia technical director and my mate Jesper Fredberg is the new CEO for Sampdoria. It's their football department, and as you guys might or might not be aware, Jesper was actually credited with revamping Omonia's youth academy during his time at the club, and that effectively led to the emergence of the likes of Johnny's, Gagolil, Loizu, etc., etc. Now, I'm just going to say it like it is, boys and girls. Omonia don't like mentioning Jesper for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe because he laid the groundwork and someone else wants to take credit for it. Someone else wants to take credit for it. Someone else wants to take credit for it. I don't know who. I could speculate, but I'm not about that life right now. I'm in a good place. So there you go. 40 minutes, 41 minutes, and we're done. We are done. That's it. Now, before I wrap it up, again, don't forget to visit our Instagram and X at This Is Mappa. We've also got a Patreon, link in the description, exclusive content. Follow Tasso at Flares Cafes on their socials. And I'm done. I've got nothing else. Unless you guys have got any questions, anything you want to throw my way, I'll give you guys 5 minutes. Come on, let's go. Does anyone like my new jacket, by the way? It's nice. It's nice. No questions? No, nothing? Don't want me to talk about anything else? No? Okay, I'm done. 42 minutes. Boys and girls, thank you for tuning in. This is Mappa. Good night.